My favorite.
Wow.
You're not. Boo.
Wow, boo.
Oh, that was so awesome, man. Cool.
Once Upon a Time was not a cartoon.
Once Upon a Time is a translation from the German Es war einmal.
Once Upon a Time was a mix of reality, fantasy, and who's who collide.
Once upon a time, the Lost Riders are still stuck on the purgatory thing, but now it's Disney.
One of
That
us was
pretty good.
prepared. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Michael, that was... hey, everybody. Welcome to Fallingtower's Watch the First podcast, the podcast in which we watch the first episode of a series so that you don't have to. With
Lucky.
us, that was good, Mike. With us, as always, co-creator, co-founder, co-CEO of Once Upon a Time, Michael Kenyon Rosenberg.
No, I have nothing to do with Once Upon a Time. I have everything to do with Falling Towers. Watch the first podcast.
Okay, switch. Got it. Okay. Joining us as well, to know her is to love her, the smiliest of the smiley, actress Kelly Ann Park.
Hello.
We are joined by designer, maker, model, superstar Tayliss Forge.
Superstar.
That was a great Disney smile, though, wasn't it? Yeah. My name is Ryan T. Husk, and you also
Okay.
Are you also a fabricator, Tayliss?
Yeah, I'll make things.
Yeah, I thought so. Okay,
Yeah,
anyway.
that kind of falls into the
that's
maker.
the maker part.
Yeah.
You're right. My name's Ryan T. Husk, and if I fabricate anything, it's not costumes. All right. Let's talk
Only
about
the truth. Yeah.
Once Upon a Time, entitled Pilot, is the first episode, Disney's show on Disney Plus. If you guys want us to review a show, just type in WTF and the show in the comments below. You could say WTF Matlock, or WTF Murder She Wrote, or WTF.
Columbo.
Thank goodness, I was out of ideas.
Columbo.
That stands for Watch the First, of course.
Yeah.
All right.
This originally actually aired, I think, on ABC, which is owned by Disney, and so now Disney owns the streaming rights to that. So,
Yep.
Excellent knowledge.
mm-hmm.
So,
It released 10 years ago.
really?
Yeah,
Yep.
2001,
2011.
or 2011.
Wow.
It was my last year of high school. That's how I remember it.
Hmm.
iPhone 5?
Kelly remembers things as iPhone models.
We'll just have to see what in then the episodes, which phone they're using, Otherwise, it's the old-fashioned, Motorola flip. Might have,
Yeah,
I don't know. We'll see.
yeah. My first phone was like one of those Nokias. So
I think me too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
actually, that was my second phone. Okay, whatever.
Nokia
You related.
shelter. Yeah. Let's talk about Once Upon a Time. Might as well get around to that at some
Okay.
point.
Well, we need to make predictions first, though, right?
Right. That's the.
I thought this was
step
your favorite.
one.
Your favorite part.
Hey, everybody. This is my favorite part of the show. It's when Michael and I have known each other since way before there were any iPhone
Yeah,
models
yep.
at all.
Mhm,
So
yep.
we can usually predict if the other person liked it. Kelly and Tayliss, good luck. So
We've been friends since the pager days. We used to
Yeah.
page each other, pager code.
Wow.
True. And everybody at home, make your predictions. You think I liked it, Michael liked it, Tayliss or Kelly? Here we go. Michael, I think you were slightly, I think you're medium on this. You're right in the medium range. You're right in the medium. Kelly, I think, boy, oh boy, I don't know. You were made for Disney. So, boy, what's the one? Enchanted what's the one with that lady in it?
Amy Adams?
Amy Adams. Yes, you're like
Yeah.
the Amy Adams. Yeah. Falling Tower. There we go. So
With
I
that
think,
lady.
I think you liked it very much, like around the 8 or 9 realm. Tayliss, I think you also enjoyed it, but are a little bit more reserved about it, maybe around the 7 or 8 realm. What do you think, Michael?
Well, just looking at Ryan's background, he's got some action going on there, some Lord of the Rings type stuff with some swords and some warriors, it looks like. Okay, so
That didn't.
but
happen
we
the
didn't
first
see any of
episode.
that in this episode, though. So that he just grabbed another screenshot from some other episode. And what do I know about Ryan? Well, Ryan
A lot.
is
Too much.
He's probably too much. And based on what I know about Ryan, I think that he is less than on this show. He's a minus on this one. Kelly is like hanging out in the forest, and so she's like right in the middle of this show, and so I think that she's gonna be a plus. Tayliss is dressed up like a princess, and so I think that she's gonna be a plus on this
I
one.
made this.
No way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just for
Awesome.
this show? No.
Oh, yeah,
She
totally.
whipped it up.
Yeah. It had nothing to do with gay pride or anything like that.
It looks awesome. Looks really,
Yeah.
really good. She's like, that's what I do, dude. You just said
Yeah.
it earlier.
Yeah.
What do you think, Kelly?
Okay, so I think that Brian, I think you liked it. You would probably give it a 7. Michael, I'm thinking for you, you got the background going, but that's your per use. So, you always give it some support anyway. But I'm going to say I would give yours, you know what? I think you like it. I think you're going to have a 7 or an 8. I'm going to give that one I'm going the other way. And Tayliss, I think that maybe it's just because you do have that outfit on and you've got a little star for your microphone. I think it was up your alley. I think you're going to give it a solid 8.
Oh boy.
All right.
High marks. What are your thoughts, Tayliss? Predictions?
I think that Ryan, you enjoyed it, are interested in what's going to happen, but still a little bit on the fence on whether or not you're going to want to watch it all the way through. It's a long show. Michael, I think you're a little bit more hesitant on the show, but you can see that there might be some potential. Kelly, I think, also enjoyed it, but also see the potential, but maybe just a tiny bit of more hesitant, or less hesitant than Michael.
Mm-hmm. So
All right.
everybody at home, you've got plenty of hints now and clues. Make your guesses while Michael tells us what the heck is this show even about, by the way.
A young woman with a troubled past is drawn to a small town in Maine where fairy tales are to be believed. In this episode, Emma Swan is taken to a strange town by her son, Henry, who she gave up for adoption years ago. And he tells her of a curse cast by an evil queen.
I thought there was more to that.
And that's it. That's
it.
it. That's what it is.
All right.
That's the whole thing.
And now we play a little game we like to call What We Expected versus What We Got.
We actually call it expectations.
That's the royal we, right?
Yeah, all of us.
So we like to compare and contrast what we expected versus what we got. So Michael, before you watched this first episode of Once Upon a Time, entitled Pilot, what did you expect?
Well, I had heard of this show before from someone very close to me, my wife, Angie, who watched most of it. I mean, she she was into it for a little while. Like, she started watching it before we got together and then stopped. But then a little bit later, when we were living in Sherman Oaks, she started watching it again. And so I had seen some of the bits of the later episodes. So I kind of knew what it was about vaguely. I had never seen the first episode, and she never really told me anything about the first episode. So I kind of knew a little bit about it was like fairy tale creatures in our world, but I didn't really know how that came to be or anything like that.
Kelly, what did you expect before you watched it yesterday or 10 years ago?
A little bit of both. I might have won. I expected, well, even back then, I expected it to be a lot more like a little bit more childish. I was a little nervous on when I saw the previews for it that it was going to be lots of like little animated creatures running around and a little bit too Amy Adams-y. Not that I, love my girl, but but then it ended up being just a little bit more adulty. I mean, it's nothing like dark or anything, but it's just a little bit more. It caters more towards or also towards young adults, and that kind of stuff, so that I think everybody can watch it. So that was actually a pleasing, exciting little thing I was surprised about. So that's a non-expectation that I found out.
Tayliss, what did you expect before you first watched it?
I don't remember what I first expected when I saw the pilot like 10 years ago. But I think watching it again yesterday, I was expecting.
Yeah. What did you expect, I guess, today?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like when I watched it again, I thought I was going to dislike the first episode rewatching it. Because I was like, I just don't remember how it went. And also my perspectives have changed so drastically that I thought I was going to dislike it.
That is very interesting. I'll tell you what I expected. I remember when it came out, I heard about it. I kind of knew what to expect, that it was basically like, what the premise is of these people that are half in the fairy tale land and half in the real world, which I thought was a very interesting premise. I expected that I might like it a little bit because I do like creative premises. Is it premises, Michael, or anybody?
Sure.
It is now.
It's yours.
I'm not the guy that should be making rules about language.
It's not premises, that's for sure.
Yeah. I like that, and I also enjoy some Disney. I think Disney can really teach us all something about writing. There are writing masters, and so I expected it to be good, even if I wasn't entirely aboard with enjoying it. I assumed that I would appreciate the well-written product. But
was ABC owned by Disney 10 years ago?
I think so. I thought it was always owned by.
It was still Disney at the time. That's why they were able to use some of the characters and stuff.
Well, the characters are all based on Grimm's fairy tales, which goes back.
I mean, later.
Oh, spoilers!
I know, I'm so lost right now. So that's what we expected. But Michael, what did you actually get?
I actually got Emma Swan is taken to a strange town by her son Henry. No, what I actually got, what did I write here? Fairy tale characters in modern day America with a whole lot of melodrama. I'm talking a lot of melodrama. Like every scene is melodramatic. Yeah. And we can talk more about what I thought about it, but yeah, very melodramatic. Not any hint really of any comic relief at all, and just heavy melodrama.
I had one big laugh, and I'll tell you guys what it is later.
Oh,
I know. Boy, oh boy. So everybody that was about to click away when Michael hurt your feelings about your favorite show, you hang in there for another 45 minutes because I'm going to tell you a funny moment. Kelly, what did you actually get when you watched this first episode?
What I actually got, I would say I would definitely say I agree with Michael in the sense that there was just, I didn't, there, if you're looking for comedy, this isn't it. So, but I really like the idea, I like what I got was, I didn't realize I was going to get a lot of the, going back and forth. This first episode was going a lot of back and forth between the, what happened in Fairy Tale Land and how they're their backstories. I thought I didn't expect that I would get that. And so I'm getting a lot of background stories and their their twist of it or their version of, all the different villains and good guys and stuff and how their story really went down. And then it, cuts to what's going on in their little melodrama lives now. So that's something I got from it was a nice little back and forth esque or feel of the show that I liked actually. So
whoa, we got a liker.
Oh, there's the like. There's a plus.
I did like there was something, yes.
Tayliss, what did you actually get?
Yes, I agree that it's a lot of drama going on. But I actually thought the first episode is pretty solid compared to what I recalled, especially with how I recall things being later written. They cram pack a lot of stuff and character introduction into the first episode, which I was like, not bad, not as well. So I thought it's just it's very heavy, the drama, which I expected knowing who the writers were initially, even then and now. I'm just this is, it's not comedy in any way, but I think it was a solid first, pilot for what's going to come.
That's interesting.
Right.
I didn't even think about comedy. I didn't even expect it, but I guess I probably should have, because Disney, again, with, I mentioned, I think their writing is great. They're really good at writing comedy. Good, clean, wholesome comedy that still makes you laugh. They're really good with that. And I didn't even think about that. But what I actually got was, I got a show that did a very good job of introducing characters efficiently and clearly, partially because they were characters that we may have already heard of, but still, I thought they did a masterful job of introducing the characters very well, and a great premise, and it was fine. Yes.
So you said that they introduced the characters well?
I think so. Yeah, efficiently, very efficiently and clearly. I knew exactly who was what and when. Sometimes people try to introduce way too many characters and you get lost. I thought that every character in there, I knew who they were, I understood them, and it all made sense to me. And I got what their role was in the series.
So, I mean, I knew, when they were in the fairy tale land, they're like, okay, this is Snow White, this is Prince Charming, this is Jiminy Cricket, this is the Evil Queen. But then for me, I was very confused when they went to real life. When it starts out and Emma is on this internet date with this guy that's really turns out he's a crook that she's trying to chase down. I was like, wait, is that Snow White? Is that Prince Charming? I could not. Maybe it's just
his name was Ryan. Clearly not Prince Charming. By the way,
obviously not. Well, but I'm guessing that Henry's adopted mom is the evil queen. But I couldn't. I mean, maybe they're expecting us to be able to recognize these people that I've never seen before.
I recognized her right away. It's the same actress, right? I mean, that was totally the.
I mean, but the hair is different. The wardrobe is different. For me, I can't. How am I supposed to? I've never seen this actor before. So how am I supposed to recognize her face from one character to another when they change everything else about her? You know what I mean?
See, now that's so interesting. And
I think that the teacher was supposed to be Snow White, but I had trouble figuring that out at first. She's hanging out with the bird. I was like, wait, is this Cinderella? It was very confusing to me. The only person that I recognized, because I knew him from another show, was Rumpelstiltskin.
See, I want to hear from Kelly and Tayliss on this, but first I just want to say, I thought that's, for me, not only was I able to match the new character with the one we just met, in the fantasy land, but I was able to expect that this was the character before they even introduced them based on the setup. Like they set it up so, and later on they would kind of go a little more heavy handed, like in case you missed it, this is the queen. Like they would match the shot to the shot, but like I thought they did a good job of basically making it obvious, but I guess it wasn't all that obvious, to where not only could you tell who it was, you would expect who it is. Like when you see that there's the mayor and the kid was like, oh, my mom doesn't really love me, I was like, oh, that's going to be the queen, and then she comes in, and at least that was my thinking. So boy, Mike and I, we fight so hard in this show. So Kelly, what do you think?
I have to admit, I'm gonna side with Ryan on this one. I thought it was pretty obvious myself, just because, I realized I thought it was because every time in the pilot, every scene of the fairy tale one, they did a pretty good job of cutting to when it goes back to reality to that person, because it was trying to set up all the storylines. So like if something, at the end of Prince Charming, all of a sudden, he got whatever stabbed or blah blah, then the next scene, it might not be that one specifically, but then it usually cut to like the reality where it zoned in on reality Prince Charming or something. But I will say though, Michael, I think that Snow White and Emma and her daughter, they do look they have the same kind of facial kind of whatever similarities. So I definitely thought that could be a little confusing. That was the only one I was like, oh, that could be a little confusing. But otherwise I got it pretty good. In fact, the only person I had a hard time with at first was Rumpelstiltskin. So, agree to disagree.
Well, like I said, I've seen
Mr. Gold's pretty obvious.
Oh yeah, I didn't make that connection, honestly.
Yeah, I was just like, Mr. Gold. I see what you did there.
Smart. Do you have any thoughts on this?
I saw him in another show, so I knew that actor. But everybody else, this was a Stargate Universe. He plays like a Dr. Nicholas Rush, and so I recognize that character. Gold Rush. But then all the rest of the actors, I've never seen them before. So I think that they're probably like betting that, oh, this is this person. So that's okay. That's obviously that person is Snow White then. So I'm not hip, I guess, with all the new actors. So
I didn't know who any of these actors were before watching the show. I think the person who plays Emma is like in How I Met Your Mother very briefly. That's it.
Well, that's funny, Michael, because like usually you have a way better grasp on the characters than I do. And I'm like, there was a dude that did a thing and you're like, oh, well, actually that's, whatever. And now I guess the answer is if you make it a fairy tale, like my brain can grasp it. I'm like, oh, that's Rumpelstiltskin, obviously. That's the guy that has the weird name.
Yeah.
And they had him in a Deep Space Nine
Rumpelstiltskin.
Yeah, I like his accent.
Schneewittchen.
Yeah, he's got like a Scottish accent or something, right?
Yeah.
Well, tell you what, guys, Michael knows this is coming, but I do like to always ask, what's your favorite something or other? Generally, it's going to be who's your favorite character on the show so far based on this first episode. What do you think, Tayliss?
My favorite character was not in the first episode, but I don't think I really had a favorite character for a really long time when watching it, and even watching it again, I was just like, I think Emma's fine because she's kind of like more of a badass, does what she can, and takes what she wants, and is a little bit hesitant and critical of things. So I kind of like her, I guess, but she's not gonna be really my favorite probably to going forward.
Who's your favorite on the show?
The boy right behind you, Captain Hook.
Oh, this guy?
Yep.
Whoops. Is this like this may be the wrong picture to use?
Ryan, spoiler. Ryan.
There's a Captain Hook. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's got a hook. It's literally right behind your head. Yep, there it is.
Huh.
He's just holding it though. Oh no, it's in his other hand. Okay.
Kelly, do you have a favorite character?
From the first episode, I really like Rumpelstiltskin.
Mhm.
I think he's mysterious. I don't know that much about the fairy tale, to be honest. Like, as a person who likes this is my cup of tea. I actually am not super huge into like Grimm's fairy tales and stuff like that. I never really have been, so I don't really 100% know his background. So like when you said Mr. Golden said it was obvious, I was like, I don't know. All I know is he really likes names that's how people have power over him or he has power over them is through names. But other than that, but I think he's mysterious, a little sexy for a lizard looking guy, you know?
Yeah.
And I mean, Mr. Gold's pretty, you know, and he's got that little like little accent, you know? Oh gosh. Yeah, and then he's just like I said, I'm really curious to know where like because I can't tell if he's good or bad.
You can't.
Not really, because both sides he wants a price, and then I can't tell. Yeah, I can't tell who because
he's the trickster.
He's the trickster. I mean, is he going to? I mean, does he like where this world is going, or does he really care if it goes back to the way it was? You know.
Michael, do you have a favorite character?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely am a big fan of Die Märchen, die Gebrüder Grimm. The Brothers Grimm, they were linguists in Germany, and they decided to go around collecting all these word of mouth stories that people would tell their children and pass down, but were never actually written down. And they decided to write them down, and they wrote them down and created all these fairy tales: Snow White, Cinderella, Rotkäppchen, Little Red Riding Hood.
Yeah, I got that one.
Yeah, Rumpelstiltskin. And so I definitely think, just based on my love of these fairy tales, these Märchen, as they're called in German, I think Rumpelstiltskin, which
all right, we get it. You speak German. I'm getting an
no, but I like his character too. I mean, obviously, he's the only actor that I recognize from any other shows, and he is kind of a trickster. We don't really know. I mean, I would agree that we don't really know if he's on the side of good or evil. He seems to be just riding whichever side wins. He's probably just goes with the wind, and he just wants to see who comes out on top, and he'll back that person if he can see it. But I wonder also if he even knows about the curse in the real world, or if he's like everybody else and he's just ignorant to it because his mind was wiped like everyone else. But second, I'll say is Jiminy Cricket.
Oh, love this little Dalmatian. Right? What's Dalmatian?
Yeah. I'm thinking about Rumpelstiltskin, if he knows. I don't think he knows in this world, but I think he'll figure it out. I think he's smart enough to.
Because he even said, he's like, oh, guess there's nothing to worry about then, is there? Go ahead and curse it up, man. I just felt like that was a fork. Like, he knows something. He knows there's a loophole in his little bargain. So.
Yeah, and as Mike was saying, he's kind of like Treebeard in that, he says, side. I'm not on anybody's side because nobody's on my side. So he's probably one of those guys that I don't think he picks a side. I think he's just on his own side. And speaking of Lord of the Rings, I did get very strong Grima Wormtongue vibes from Rumpelstiltskin. So I obviously liked him right away. Although I will say that the Queen was very cool. So she might be my number one right now, but that's because she got way more airtime than Rumpel.
Best outfits.
Yeah, I think Rumpel's going to get more play time, and then we're going to like him more possibly. But for now, I mean, She was like this show's version of Cersei, who was the coolest in Game of Thrones. So right now she's got my top spot, I'd say. Sorry to say.
Yes, it's true.
And Michael, you mentioned Little Red Riding Hood. Did you catch that was her and Grandma in the?
Yeah.
Okay.
I pieced that together.
See, they set it up.
Check.
But why did she? I mean, did I miss a different version of Red Riding Hood? I mean,
all of the fairy tales are different in this version.
you have every right to wear whatever you want, and I support that. I just am a little confused, is all. I mean, sassy Red Riding Hood or something.
Well, the first thing she did was like put like a red hood or scarf or something on, right?
That's true.
Like
so they're like. And Tayliss, you probably know they're probably going to be doing this throughout the series, right? They're going to make it relatively obvious. Like the guy's going to is this guy going to show up with a hook, or are we going to be introduced to him as Captain Hook first in Fantasy Town?
Hey, we're talking about the first episode right now.
Yeah, I don't remember, but it's a constant thing where they're just like going back and forth, or they will lead you on as long as possible to think it's a different character, and then they'll reveal it.
That's how they get you.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Rumpelstiltskin is definitely an interesting one they do with that too.
Oh, so let me tell you guys the big laugh I got. It was towards the end.
All right.
Boy, oh boy. There it is. And it was from our buddy, the Queen, whose name is, I don't know, whatever in the real world. Mayor. What is it?
I don't know. I just say Miss Mayor.
Yeah, Mayor something.
Madam Mayor, something like that.
Yeah. John Mayer. Got it. So what was it? Yeah, was it? I think it was just the delivery that made me laugh. The actress made me laugh was when she was talking with Emma Frost or Emma Stone, and she says, she's talking about something. She's like, whereas you've been doing well, who knows what you've been doing? And I was just like, God, that cuts I don't know why, but that made me laugh so out loud because I think it was the actress's delivery that really nailed it for me.
Yeah, the melodrama.
Did you guys figure out who the sheriff was?
Sheriff of Nottingham? That's the only thing I could guess.
No, I have no idea. Actually, I have no idea.
I actually put that in my notes. I said, who's this cop guy? I actually didn't figure. I kind of put the question, didn't think about it.
I won't spoil it.
Oh,
okay.
Spoil it. I want to know, right, Michael?
You want to know?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sure.
He's the hunter who failed to bring Snow White back her heart, and so now she has basically control over him.
Oh,
interesting.
That's more why they were in the house together, not really because Henry was missing.
Interesting. So Oh, there was another guy that was in jail. Played by, I think that was Lee Ehrenberg, right? And Lee Ehrenberg is an actor who's been in Star Trek before. He played like a Ferengi a couple times, but I can't remember which character. But anyway, so he's definitely a guy that's been around, character actor. Is he a thing or was, I mean,
he's one of the dwarfs. He's one of the 7 dwarfs.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah, they cut back and forth.
Yeah.
Just call me Mike. I don't know.
No, I guess I
didn't want to assume just because he was a little diminutive.
All like the attractive, like model looking people. I'm just like, okay, how am I supposed to tell these people apart? But then all like the ugly
black hair and blonde hair, dude. Come on.
But like Snow White has like white hair when she's a teacher though. Like it's not, I don't know.
She had black hair. It was
Did she?
short,
Yeah, no, she had short hair. That's all.
She was wearing a white outfit too, to make it more obvious.
Maybe I'm just an idiot, but I don't know.
Yeah,
like,
she just had short hair.
All these attractive people just look the same to me. I don't know. It's the ugly character actor people that I'm like, oh, that's the dwarf guy. Yeah, that's Rumpelstiltskin.
That's my boy.
Oh, these guys are cool. Yeah.
Kelly, did you have any funny moments that you
I mean, I thought it was, once I figured out what was going on, I thought it was kind of cute that, she shows up pretending on this blind date that, she's like, she seems all, you ready to run yet? And he's like, oh no. And she's like, hey, you don't know what I'm talking about. So I thought that was kind of cute and fun. I don't know how she caught up to him in high heels, but that's not the point. The point is kick ass. kind of moment. And
I had a bigger fact check there. I don't know how she knocked a guy out on a horn of a car. Like those things are soft. They usually, I was just like, that's,
Well, yeah.
And plus if somebody reaches into your car and grab, you're going to just go like, what? You know what I mean? You don't have the leverage to, anyway, I was just like, no, that's not physically, forget it. Get it.
Fantasy.
Anyway. Right. That's why I let it go. I only hung on to it for like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Tayliss, were there any moments that made you laugh though?
I don't think so, because it's not really much of a comedy per se. I feel like I was kind of laughing internally because I knew like some of the things that were going to come in the future. I'm like, oh man, you're worrying about nothing, or you're not worrying enough.
Ooh.
But that's about it.
I want to clear something up. It's like I wasn't expecting a comedy. But there's good to throw in some comic relief now and then.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to like maybe have the dwarf character say some cutting lines or something that's going to be funny, or Rumpelstiltskin doesn't always have to be like he could say some funny. Oh yeah, he probably does. Yeah, you're right. You're probably right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I mean, there could be Jiminy Cricket can he doesn't always have to be singing about stars and being over them and once upon a time upon a star. I forget what he sings, but when you wish upon us. Yeah.
Is that the star that's on Tayliss's microphone too? By the way, it looks like
when you wish upon Tayliss's star. Yeah. So I mean, just somebody to throw in like a wisecrack now and then, just to kind of lighten it up, so you're not like trudging through like drama without any relief.
Yeah, I think they do that a little bit more with certain characters later, but I don't think they wanted you to basically think like it's going to be a comedy in any way, especially like in the pilot episode. So I think they're like, all right, are you ready for this? Because this is gonna how it's mostly gonna be.
This is what you're gonna get. Ryan, all right, you told us your part that made you laugh is just
I looked in my
Queen's
notes,
melodramatic delivery.
Yeah, I checked for other places in my notes where there was comedy, and I was like, oh wait, that wasn't the biggest laugh, that was the only laugh I have. Like I looked through everything, I was like, okay, no wonder that was the biggest laugh. So maybe they just didn't really write any comedy in there, and if there was any bit at all, it was from the delivery of an actor, or from like Tayliss, if you're watching it after you already know, more like a knowing laughter, like, oh, this is gonna happen later, or watch out. It seems like that's what this show is going to be. It's going to be where some of it is a surprise to the audience, and some of it is the audience enjoying watching the characters go through the surprise.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I like the
right.
idea of like people, like every character I'm like, oh, you don't know. Haha, you don't know. You don't know. So saying.
Dramatic irony.
All right. Well,
all right.
I guess it would be nice to go over our favorite moments of the show. So far, I'm not convinced that anybody loved this as much as I thought they might have. Kelly, did you have a favorite moment? Was there a moment that just made you smile with glee, or that made you go, boy, that was really interesting?
Honestly, my favorite part, it sounds kind of whatever, but my favorite part actually was the very end of this, like the very last scene when the little boy's sitting there and watching the clock that never moves, and sure as shit, ding, and it goes to the next minute because the ball is rolling, and I went, ah. So that was actually like my cute little favorite moment. Like I liked a lot of the spots in it because it was dramatic. Like there wasn't, and they had a lot of like introducing. Like I liked a lot of the moments, but the moment that made me went, nee, it was at the very end. And I went, yeah, get a move on, Mr. Clock. Or it's coming. Emma Snow,
Do you think that clock is gonna like come to life like in Beauty and the Beast?
They might stop it there, but
What's
you never know.
Clockworth or something?
Yeah, maybe something will burst out of it or whatever. But I think they're gonna try and keep it focused on the
Maybe you're right.
Inanimate objects might take a backseat on this one. But
Tayliss, what was your favorite moment of the entire pilot episode?
I liked the part where it's the wedding scene and then the queen comes in and kicks down the door because I'm just like, ooh, fun costumes.
That tracks, yeah.
Yeah.
You know me.
Yeah. Michael's checking his notes right now. He's like, what was my favorite?
Yeah, I'm like, wait, did I like, is there anything that I liked about this show? Let me see.
I'll buy you a little bit of time and say, Kelly, I did rewind that clock part too at the very end. And I did find that to be one of the best moments for sure too. Cause I was like, oh, that works. That's interesting. It's cute. And then also makes you think, wait, why was the kid staring at the clock like he knew? He's not a freaking psychic. Calm down, everybody. But then I was like, no, maybe it just makes sense. Maybe he just stares at the clock all the time, every night, and just kind of thinks. And then this time he saw it move.
right, yeah, waiting for it to waiting for it to, because they always said that clock never hasn't worked or ever. And he knows that as soon as the clock starts working, and now that Emma's here, get that clock a rolling. So
we did it, you guys. Michael has faced us and is ready to take on the question.
Yeah, I'll cheat and I'll just say the clock too. My favorite.
Wow.
You're not boo.
Wow, boo.
Oh, that was so awesome, man. Cool. The clock moved, man. It hasn't moved at all,
That's
and it
what it's
moved.
supposed to do.
Okay.
The end. And they all lived happily ever after.
I also didn't understand. Maybe you guys could explain why did that wardrobe save the baby? I understand that Geppetto
It was
making
enchanted.
it, but was it enchanted? Was it made out of the tree that was magical?
Yeah.
Yes.
And so they knew that they couldn't put the baby in it until it was fully completed. I mean, like,
no, they were gonna ship off Snow and the fetus, or
because it could only take one person.
But then she popped the baby out.
Yeah, that's why she was like, I can't have it. I can't. But she did. So then she was save the baby.
That's exactly how she sounded too. Yeah.
Yeah.
like a Skeksis.
I can't have it.
Get it out of here.
I guess I was just a little confused by it, but I guess Disney's just magic. You can just not think about it too much, right? And we let it go. Well,
Disbelief.
Speaking of magic, Michael knows what's coming here. It's time to talk about you, Tayliss.
Oh, me.
What a deal.
This is not where I thought this was going.
Well,
we thought I was like going to pull a scarf out of my... Nope.
I mean, I don't know. You could do magic tricks during this show. I haven't watched enough to know.
I can. Damn, if I had a quarter on me, I could do a boy howdy.
just Photoshop some stuff in. It's fine. Do it in post.
So, Tayliss, you are a designer, maker, model. You're currently working on Wasteland Weekend garb. Can you tell us, first of all, what is Wasteland Weekend? That's some kind of convention?
It is an outdoor event in California where basically think of Mad Max, but as an event. So there is music, there are vendors, there are all sorts of stuff. This is going to be my first time going. I was finally convinced that my pasty self would hopefully survive a week-ish. We'll see. I'm going to be wearing a lot of sunscreen and having a lot of parasols, but I have 5 outfits I have planned. We'll see how many I actually get through.
Wait, how many days is this thing?
It's a 5-day event.
Okay.
That's one outfit per day if I count, if my math
Exactly.
isn't wrong.
Correct.
Around, about.
Or about. So that's gonna be a lot of work. We'll see how that goes. I've already started. But yeah, my big major build is complete, which was the Labyrinth of Jareth Masquerade Ball, which was last weekend, whenever
Wow.
this releases, a couple weeks ago. So that was a lot of work. But all this other stuff, because it's Wasteland stuff and it's post-apoc, it doesn't have to look good. So that
Yeah.
makes things a lot easier.
Do they have like Mad Max cars there and stuff too? Like people
I
driving
think
around
they
like
have
crazy?
a vehicle like competition, not necessarily driving, but
Cool.
like deck it out and all that fun stuff. Yeah, there are a lot of really cool pictures if you want to check it out and look at it. There, it's a neat event that gets a lot of coverage.
And where in California is it?
I don't remember.
Probably
Somewhere in the desert. Somewhere in the desert.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Somewhere in the
Okay.
desert. Yeah, I believe they actually like own the land that's there, so they host the event there. They also plan to do a cyberpunk event sometime in the future. I think it's supposed to be in April, in the same area, but that's what I'm more interested in, is doing the cyberpunk stuff eventually, because I've got plenty of garb for that. All that sci-fi stuff.
So models, designers, cosplayers, their
Makers.
their favorite holiday is generally going to be Halloween, right? Maybe
Yes.
definitely top 5 or top 20.
Give me that spooky stuff.
What are you prepping for Halloween? That's just 2 short months away. Well, really
I
1.5,
know.
I'd say.
I have been wanting to do a cosplay of Lust from Full Metal Alchemist for like an eternity. So I'm going to try my best after getting all this Wasteland garb together to do a Lust cosplay for Halloween. Of course, considering, the current trend of the pandemic, I doubt I will be able to actually wear it out anywhere, but I can at least know it's done.
Yeah.
I'm like, here it is.
Do you just have like a giant garage full of outfits?
Gosh, I wish.
Because
I wish I had a garage.
all that stuff can't even fit in a walk-in closet. I feel like you
Yeah,
have more.
because so last time I did the episode with y'all, I have my closet super cram-packed, and as soon as we ended recording, the entire closet fell apart.
Oh my god.
Just all of the costumes and everything, and I'm just like, well, glad that didn't happen during recording because it was very loud.
What's gonna fall today?
Well, hopefully it's fine now because I ended up, basically redoing the entire closet, so it has very good structured stuff. But yeah, I have a lot of stuff crammed packed in this closet. It's very concerning.
So it does all fit in one closet. I don't know. I just pictured there's no way it could all fit in one closet.
I also use my car as a second closet.
I was gonna say, yeah, especially with the accessories. Accessories are always the thing that take up the most space, right?
Yeah, I got a lot of storage. It's not very, really the best kind of storage. It's just kind of everywhere, but at least it's in my house.
Yeah.
My little apartment. I try.
Sounds daring. Sounds
It
very
is very daring considering
brave.
things are falling apart.
Well. Everybody
All
at
the
home,
costumes survived.
you can follow Tayliss online on social media. We'll include all those in the description box below. You can also follow Kelly on social media. We'll include that good stuff in the description box below. And don't think you got away so easily, Kelly. You've got a ton of outfits. Where do you keep them all? You've got a lot of cosplay too.
I do. They're all hiding in my closet. I've had to organize them depending on theme now, because there's the suggestively cosplay or any type of LARPing outfits, and then there's the full-fledged, if you wear it out, to the local Applebee's, they're gonna be like, wonder what's going on there. you know.
Yeah, but who wants to go to Applebee's?
Yeah, so I have I mean, I love apple French onion soup. Anyways, so I have like 3 or 4, 7 crowns. I thought about wearing one today, but I thought I've been, dressing up for the last couple. I didn't want to like keep being like, oh, they brought Kelly on again. What is she gonna wear?
That's the only reason we brought you on.
Yeah, this was the perfect.
Extra.
I was like, there's a chance Kelly is gonna dress up with like an apple on her head or something,
I thought about it. I thought about doing like extra makeup or something, but I have to work, so I was like,
oh right, you're working right after this.
You don't feel my princess queen-esque down at the casino. So
that's just rude on their part.
I know. I was like, fine, I'll get you your Captain Hook and Coke. Jerk. Hate is gonna hate. So, but
that's okay. You did very well in our pirate show, if I remember correctly.
Mhm.
Black Sails. You nailed that one.
That was a good one.
Yeah. And Tayliss, of course, as you know, great job on yours. Michael and I, we just wore shirts. We kept it pretty easy.
Last minute, just pull out of my closet.
Well, this is it, you guys. It's the final 2 questions of the show, the 2 most important questions of the show, the thing that we like to call
Bottom line.
The bottom line. Technically, it's called the terrible
Nothing
twos,
else. That's
but
the only thing we call it is the bottom line.
it's basically the terrible twos. But we let Michael
Bottom
think. Line. Question number 1 is, Tayliss is laughing it off. Kelly's uncomfortable. But question number 1 is, and these are, by the way, the toughest questions. So sorry. Scale of 1 to 10. Michael Kenyon Rosenberg, what would you give the first episode of Once Upon a Time entitled Pilot?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I watched this last night and I wrote a number down. And I was wondering, I was like, after we talk about it, let's see if this number is going to change. But I don't think it has. And the number that I wrote down last night, my score from 1 to 10,
27.
I'm trying to drag this out. 4.5. 4.5. I was not it was not really my cup of tea. Very, I don't want to call it heavy drama because it was like I keep using the word melodrama because it was just kind of like over the top, kind of like not really heavy drama where you're like, oh, what's gonna happen? But like melodrama where it's just like, oh no, don't, no, please don't. I don't know how to explain it better than that lame explanation that I just did right now, but
I fell asleep. But I'm back.
It's just not really my cup of tea.
Okay.
I only drink green tea when I drink tea, and this was not green tea.
I had chamomile last night.
This was more like a chamomile.
And I remembered an old lady when I used to work in Westwood that said, I'd like some chamomile tea. And I was so confused. I was like, chamomile. Anyway, I know. Weird, right? So Mike's like, that was so stupid, Ryan. Kelly, what would you give this on a scale
I say
of 1 to
stupid
10?
things all the time, so I don't blame you for
Bless
saying
you.
stupid things.
So, me. Okay. So all right. Out of 1 to 10.
Yep. Any number in there.
That, I would say.
Could be a decimal. Could be 2 decimals.
Could be 1 and 10 as well,
right?
Including 1 and 10.
Yeah, 1.10.
I would have to go with a solid 8.5.
Wow.
I was also, I think what raised it up a point or 2 even also is because I thought it was going to be, I had lower expectations of it than than when I saw. So when I saw it, I was more impressed than I thought I was going to be. So that raised it up and was like, oh, okay, let's do this. So,
all right.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Tayliss, hit us with it. We're ready.
I had the same thing because watching this again, I expected it was going to be worse. So this kind of show is what I call a crafting show. It's not a show that I'm going to 100% pay attention to, but
you'll have it on while you're working.
I will have it while I'm working. And it will still I'll probably pause for a few seconds and be like, okay, and then get back to working. Usually those crafting shows are about a 7, which is what I would give the pilot episode. It was a solid 7 in my opinion. Still, it has potential. It's still entertaining, but not bad enough that I wouldn't want it in the background, and not entertaining enough that I'm going to be exclusively watching it, and that's my dedicated activity.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well, shout out to Sasha Kerbal, who also mentioned something very similar to that a while back. She said she likes to have a show on when she's
cooking or something
like that.
She said that's how she starts a show. She'll have it on in the kitchen while she's cooking, and then if it's good enough, then she'll graduate it to.
It earns her attention. But yeah, we always like to have a show on when we're working. That's a good point, Tayliss. That's very cool. For me, it's funny because like Michael, I had a number that just kind of popped in my head yesterday, but I didn't really think about it. And then today I also didn't really think about it. Oh. And then I was like, oh, I should think about it. And it never really got past kind of what my first impression was. Caveat is, I think they did a very good job of establishing what this show is about, what to expect, what the mood is going to be, and what we're going to be watching if we watch it forward on. It's very clear. So from that point of view, I think it's like a 7 to 8 pilot. Just objectively speaking, they did a fine job. And they did everything good enough, I think, and the premise and the concept is very good. But for me, whatever. I think maybe for the first time or second or third time ever, Michael and I are giving identical scores. I actually was going to give it a 4.5 as well. I think it deserves much higher than a 4.5, personally, objectively speaking. But for me, possibly not quite their target audience. I think for me, I'm like, it's like, whatever. As far as the entertainment value for me personally it's about a 4.5. But that's, those are our subjective and objective thoughts there. The question number 2 is, for the purposes of this podcast, we all had to watch the first episode of Once Upon a Time. But now that the podcast is over, and Kelly, I swear we didn't mean to poop on your show. We do think it was good. You look so sad. I know, sorry. I do think it was good, just not for me. Now that the podcast is over and we're free to move about the internet, Michael Kenyon Rosenberg, would you watch the second episode of Your Own Volition?
Before I answer that, I think we do have to give a shout out at least to Katie Carr, who has recommended this show over a dozen times. And there's been a few other people, I don't remember who, but we've had a bunch of recommendations for this show, but none more than Katie Carr, who has repeatedly over and over again asked us to watch this show. And to her, I will say, Katie Carr, I would not watch the second. I'm sorry.
You just want to break her heart. Her little.
No, she's sweet. I don't have anything against her, but I would not watch the second episode of the show.
She's also in Central Time, by the way, Kelly. I think she's in Indiana.
Oh.
See? So now you know. That's one no. Kelly, would you watch the second episode of Your Own Volition?
Well, Katie Carr, I would watch the second episode of My Own Volition. I would watch at least a few episodes to see where it's going.
Mm-hmm. Well, now another mystery is Tayliss. Would you watch the second episode of your own volition?
Not again. I watched many seasons many moons ago, but now I'm done, and I stopped for I stopped watching it because the story wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. So,
really?
but I don't think I would try watching it again, even if somebody asked me to watch it with them. I'm like, no, I'm good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't need this crafting show.
There's other crafting shows that you could be watching.
Plenty of other good crafting shows to watch.
And we're going to find them and review them and say horrible things or great things about them.
That's valid.
And I'll tell you guys something. Yeah, lots of mediocre too. I would not watch the second episode. I would be interested to know how the story goes. Like, I'd be interested in just having a sit down with Kelly and be like, so who got introduced where? Or Tayliss and say, so what's up with this Hook guy? Like, I want to hear the story, but I don't think I want to.
Comedy relief.
Oh, really?
Oh, he's a comic relief.
I think so. He's snarky at least.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me tell you, you could just talk to Angie about it.
Or Angie, right? Yeah. So, I'd be interested, but not enough to actually watch it. And I do think personally that they succeeded in doing the show that they were trying to do. So good job, Disney, for another successful show. This one also, I'm a little, here's a thing. I don't like Disney live action films for some reason. It's just not for me. Like all the live action Disney stuff just doesn't do it for me. I like their cartoons. They work beautifully, I think, but live action, not really. And this is no exception. It just doesn't quite feel the same. So it's
not
a no
even
for
the computer that wore tennis shoes with Kurt Russell from like the 1960s.
Was it like that number Short Circuit?
No.
Kurt Russell? He wasn't in the 60s.
Yeah. Maybe he was 70s. I don't know.
I don't know what's happening.
He was a kid. He was like a kid in the show. So he was like a teenager. And it's called the computer that wore tennis shoes.
It was actually called that. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry about that segue, everybody. We're going to edit the hell out of this.
Nope.
Not allowed.
I think that's about it, right, Michael? I think we covered everything.
I think we did.
Great. So everybody, check us out next week. We're going to have another incredible one. We know what it is. You don't, but keep suggesting things, and we will keep reviewing them. This next one was also suggested by a guest, I think, this last time.
Mm-hmm.
So Kelly and Tayliss,
for what that is.
Kelly and Tayliss, thank you so much for joining us. You guys are awesome, and we love having you guys so much.
Yay!
Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is this podcast was damn pleasant.
The end of this podcast, everybody lived happily ever after.
This podcast was really fun for me.
Yes. She gets it.
Yeah.
This podcast was nice to see you all again.
Hooray.
Thank you.
See, Mike, we all said nice things by accident.
Yeah, we sure did. Almost by accident.
So speaking of which, guys, everybody remember at home to give us a like, make sure to subscribe, share this with your friends, leave us a comment below. Tell us what show you would like us to review. And tell us, by the way, say, hey, we want Kelly back. We want Tayliss back. Say, dude, Tayliss wears the craziest stuff ever. That's amazing. Where can I find her? Things like that. But also,
links below. Yeah.
Just
remember what Michael Kenyon Rosenberg always likes to say.
Don't forget to register to be an organ donor. And don't forget to watch the first of things.